Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we wrote the code to call the submit answers API in our Angular application, and in today's video, we will write the code to show the remaining time on the take test page in our Angular application. So let's get started. So in our Angular application, we will open taketest.component.ts, and in this component, first of all, we need to create a variable to store the remaining time, and we will name this as time remaining, and the type of this will be number, and for by default value we will give this as 0. And after this we need to set the value in this time remaining variable after the API call. So in the success case of the API call, after getting the response, we will use our time remaining variable, and after this to set the value we will use response, and then we will call time, and after this we will write our operator and we will assign 0 in this variable, and after this we need to create a method to get the formatted time, and we will use this method in our HTML file. So we will name this variable as getFormattedTime, and for the return type we will give this as string, and in the body of this method we need to get the remaining minutes and the remaining seconds, and then we will use those minutes and seconds and we will format them and return from this method. So for the minutes we will create a constant and we will name this as minutes, and after this to calculate the remaining minutes we will use math and we will call a method floor, and because we are getting the time from our backend in the seconds, so to get the minutes we need to divide the remaining time with 60, and to do this we will use this dot time remaining, and then we will divide this by 60, and after this we will create another constant and we will name this as seconds, and to calculate the seconds we will again use this dot time remaining, and then we will use modulus operator to calculate the remainder, and we will use the value as 60, and after this we will write a return statement, and in this return statement we will return a string, and first of all we need to return the minutes, so we will use dollar and then curly braces to inject the variables in this string, and first of all we will inject the minutes, and after the minutes we will add a colon, and after this we will again use dollar and then curly braces, and in this we will inject the seconds, and after this before the seconds we need to add the 0 if our seconds are less than 10. So for example, if our seconds are 2, then it should show 0 2, and to do this we need to write if condition here. So we will again use dollar and then curly braces, and in this we will use seconds, and after this we will use is less than operator, and we will compare this with 10, and if it is true then we will return 0, and in the else case we will return empty string, and with this our get formatted time method is completed. Now let's save this file, and after this we need to write the HTML code to show the remaining time, and to do this we will open taketest.component.html, and in this file after the first div we will create another div, and we will give it a class of time container, and in this time container we will create another div and we will give it a class of timer, and after this for the label we will write time remaining, and to get the remaining time we need to call a method which is getFormattedTime, and with this our HTML code is completed as well. Now let's save this file and let's run our application. And as you can see our application is up without any errors, and now let's go to the browser and let's validate the functionality of remaining time of the test, and in the browser we will click on this login button, and then we need to enter the details of user in this form, and after adding the email and the password we will click on this login button, and as you can see we got redirected to the user dashboard after successful login. Now let's click on the start test button of our first test, and as you can see we got redirected to the take test page, and on this page we got a container for the remaining time, and in this container as of now we are not getting the remaining time. And to fix this we will go back to our Angular application, and in our Angular application we will open taketest.component.ts, and in this file in the ng-on-init method after the API call we need to update the code, and in this response we are sending two objects, questions and the test DTO. So now we need to get the time from the question DTO, and to do this we will write rest.testdto.time. Now let's save this file, and as you can see our application got compiled without any errors. Now let's go back to the browser, and in the browser we will click on this start test button again, and as you can see this time we got the remaining time as 2 minutes. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we will write the code to update this remaining time after every second, and then we will write the code to call the submit test API automatically when this remaining time reaches 0.